What's going on, my ninjas, and shout out to all the ninjas throughout the entire Omniverse. It's man, OMNI, ETC, Omni, etc. Back at it again with another video. This time we're getting into Ash, my favorite. I had to cover this because, well, he's my main. I had to cover it. I had to cover this. So it's not going to be a long video or anything. We're just going to go over what he's got going on nowadays. And I am surprised to say not much has changed from the build that I already have, except that D has made Blade Storm an exalted weapon now, and as such, it has its own modifiers, it's able to be modded, and it benefits from arcanes now. So we're going to go over that in particular. But for majority of the video, for majority of the information of the build, I'm going to just leave it up for my last video, because like I said, not much has really changed, except for maybe one or two things. But majority of this we're just going to be going over as for. So without further ado, let's get into the build. So this is what we have. So as I stated before, nothing really changed in Ash, in my main Ash build. Okay, we still are rocking Savage Silence on his one. We're rocking smoke. We're leaving smoke screen alone. We have teleport, but it comes with a twist now. And Blade Storm, which is now a statable exalted weapon, but still pseudo exalted status, because the difference, and this is just a note, the primary difference between a regular exalted weapon and a quote-unquote pseudo-exalted weapon is that the pseudo-exalted weapons only work for a moment, as well as where the full exalted weapons are unlocked. They are channeled abilities. So the regular exalted weapons are channeled abilities, while the pseudo-exalted weapons are momentary effects and momentary attacks. And that's true for the shadow clones of Ash's Blade Storm. But, you know, they're statable now. So both the pseudo as well as the regular exalteds are statable. Well, the exalteds have always been statable, have always been moddable. But now the pseudo-exalted weapons are moddable as well, with them also having arcanes of their own. But let's do a quick overview real quick. So we'll go into the abilities. Of course, silence, and I have the augment Savage Silence for the finisher damage. You can see that down there, 1000%. So that means when Savage Silence is on, finishers do 10 times the amount that they normally would. Smoke screen, teleport, and Blade Storm. All right. Blade Storm is still a stat stick. I've discovered this. Blade Storm is not Blade Storm. Teleport is still a stat stick, and instead of needing an augment to perform a finisher, now it just performs the finisher, which is great for Ash. One thing that I don't like about it is the new animation for the finishers. It takes a little bit longer than usual. I've been playing around with casting speed, but I'm not 100% certain whether or not casting speed actually affects it as of yet, because I haven't put enough on it on Ash. I will update that in a short later on, but as for now, I'm not certain that casting speed does anything for it. All right, Blade Storm is now a moddable exalted pseudo exalted weapon, so you can stat it, you can mod it, and it does tremendous damage. It does more damage now in this iteration of Ash than the finisher damage of Fatal Teleport did prior, which is something I always felt was a little bit unbalanced. Like, how does the finisher damage of the 3 do more damage than the finisher damage of the 4, which is Ash's Blade Storm? So now Blade Storm is brought up comparable, actually more so than Fatal Teleport, which is just now Teleport. alone because it's moddable now. So it's great for Ash. He's just dealing out death across the land as a result. Now, quick overview of the mods. I got Steel Charge, Speed Drift. As I said, I've been playing around, so I took out Rush. I might put Rush back on if my experimentation with casting speed proves fruitless. But we have Speed Drift, Transient Fortitude, Savage Silence, Vitality, Prime Continuity, Precision Intensified, Blind Rage, Prime Flow, and Augur Secrets. And of course, Arcane Crepuscular for that additional finisher damage, as well as ability strength while invisible, which you're going to be invisible this entire time you're playing. Arcane Trickery, you know what that does, 15% chance to become invisible on finisher kills. And of course, we know that Blade Storm is just a bunch of AoE finishers going off, so you're going to be invisible mostly through Arcane Trickery as well as Shade's Ghost ability. So we already know what Dread does. Skiajati is still relevant because, as I said, Teleport is still stat stick, so there's at least one stat stick in the game still, and that is Fatal Teleport or Teleport by itself. And then let's get down to the nitty gritty with the Shadow Clones and how I have it modded. Now, this is the thing. For everything that's great about this pseudo-exalted weapon, there are some drawbacks. So the crit chance is hella low at 5%. The crit multiplier is 1.2 times, and the status chance hovers around 5% normally. The only reason is at 8% is because I have Virulent Surge on here, just for additional damage. Physical damage types that's your slash, your impact, and your puncture, they do not affect the overall damage that the Shadow Clones do at all. So do not mod for any physical damage types. All right, I can show you right here. Let's swap out Augur Strike for collision. All right, let's do multi-impact. Augur Strike for multi-impact. And you see how the damage went down? That's because it doesn't do anything. It doesn't help at all. It didn't add anything. As you can see, there's no... Drop that. There is no physical damage being added over there. It didn't all of a sudden put puncture damage on the Shadow Clones at all. So... It really doesn't help. So what we're going to do is just stat for damage. This is my build. You can do what you want, but I stat for damage. So I have Prime Fever Strike, Shocking Touch, North Wind, Molten Impact. So that's the big four, right? That's the big four. Then I have Virulent Surge just to give it a little bit more damage. I have some primed. I have the max prime pressure point. Okay. And then the thing that really does the most for this, they're considered daggers. The Shadow Clones are considered daggers. So covert lethality, as well as any other dagger only mods work on it. Not dagger, but daggers. Very specific. Daggers work on this. So we have covert lethality. Well, no, it has to be a singular dagger, so I guess it counts as a singular dagger. So covert lethality, which is great for the initial combo count because the damage goes up per the combo count. And then finishing touch. As such, because I'm killing all the time and it only does finisher damage, it makes all the sense in the world for me to have melee crescendo on here. All right. On a finisher kill, you gain 6 initial combo count for the rest of your mission. That of course resets upon death and revival, as you reviving yourself as opposed to a teammate reviving you, because it resets pretty much everything. So what you would do in this instance is just wait for a teammate. Please wait for a teammate, because though you could get that combo count up back up pretty quickly, it's just a pain. So wait for your teammates to get to you, and wait for you to bleed out completely before you revive yourself, is my advice. But as you can see over here, we have almost 250,000 in damage, and that would be the base damage before we have the multipliers and everything factored in before Savage Silence takes a hold. But if we're just looking at off of raw numbers, right? 250, right? Nearly 250,000. I know it's 243, but we're rounding up for just for the sake of math. 250 times 10, because it's 1,000% for Savage Silence. That's essentially 2 million base damage, and then that's before the combo count multipliers kick in and everything else. So easily deck a million damage per Blade Storm. And the thing that I like about it is there's no longer a 3-stack for the Shadow Clones. It's a one and done. They come in, they do the attack, they get out. So they're attacking much quicker than they have in the past. They're doing more damage than they have in the past, and everything is just dying around you. And you get the added bonus of being completely invisible majority of the time that this is going on. So it's just it's just the ultimate ninja at this point. Understand, he's just the ultimate ninja at this point. Now, for the rest of these builds, for the Dread, for the Skid Jotty, you know why I have the Skid Jotty on here, for its unique trait that works, that has great synergy with teleport. When the finisher is performed, you have a 5-second invisibility granted to you anyway. That goes off every time. So with that 5 seconds, do what you want. And then Dread has its mods and things that work well with the invisibility. I have Spectral Serration on this Dread. But if you want that full build and everything, that'll be in my last Ash video. Like I said, not much has changed from this Ash to that Ash. I'm just going over what DE has done to change anything. So if you have the last Ash video, which it will be somewhere in this video for you to go watch it for an in-depth explanation. This Ash has just been buffed supremely greatly, and yeah, he's doing more damage than ever, and I think he's more balanced out with what he's doing. Now, no, I have run into some bugs mid-mission where even though I have a full pool of health, the 4 just stops working for some reason. Like, you can't prime the 4 in order to mark targets. So with that, the greatest thing that I can tell you to do is teleport your ass off so that you could hopefully proc Arcane Trickery, and then go to work with your Dread with Spectral Serration, as well as the additional crit damage that it does, because that'd be your quickest way of dispatching foes in that circumstance. I think it's a bug. I think DE's working on it. I'm not sure about the status of where they're at with it, but I think in a hot fix or two, or a patch or two, it should be phased out. As for the Archon shards, same as just stacked on ability strength for the Reds. Ash doesn't really have that much in the way of health return, so that's what I have both Azure shards for. So he has 15 health per second regeneration, just so that he can have some sort of health return. He's already doing phenomenal damage. He's already wiping out entire legions, entire hordes of enemies at a snap of the finger, really. So yeah, he needs some sort of health return, so he can get out of a toxic cloud. He can get some recovery if he takes damage from AoE. He shouldn't be targeted, but I've noticed lately that even in invisibility, even when invisible, the acolytes, the stalker acolytes, are able to track him, semi-track him through it. It doesn't look like they know exactly where he's at, but they're able to like guess pretty accurately. They'll follow him for a little bit, and then they'll do something else. So there's a little bit of tracking with that. So just be careful when you're facing stalker acolytes, because Ash is still a pretty squishy frame. He's not the most armor intense. He's not the most damage mitigation. His primary form of damage mitigation is him being invisible. Outside of that, have fun. I've been having a blast. Just everything around me melts. Everything around me dissolves into nothingness, and I'm invisible the whole time. It almost seems unfair, but he can still be killed. So I guess it's not. Anyway, that'll be it for this video, this build. I just want to give that update. Peace, love, health, wealth to you all. Until next time.
See, it's the big we choose. Let us in, we're the guardians, baby, let the stakes rise.